Welcome to this video on the 7 CS framework for websites. We're moving beyond simple design taste to explore how managers can evaluate websites using structured evidence. The key question we'll address is this: does the site just look good, or does it actually help the customer make a decision? Let's look at a quick story. 2 skincare brands launched sites in the same month. Website A focused on expensive visuals and elegant effects, while website B looked plainer but prioritized functionality. 3 months later, website B was converting significantly more visitors. Why? Because it supported the customer's journey from finding to returning. What these sites prove is that we need to stop asking if a site looks modern and start asking if it allows the customer to find, understand, trust, and buy. A customer interface is a system, and like any system, it can be audited based on failures in findability, understanding, trust, or completion. By the end of this session, you will be able to explain the 7 components, audit a live business website with checkable evidence, trace weaknesses back to conversion metrics, and defend your redesign decisions using solid business impact arguments. The 7 C's framework covers the digital customer interface. The first 4 are context, how it looks and works; content, what it says and shows; community, how users interact; and customization, how the site adapts to the individual. The final 3 components move outward. Communication covers how the business interacts with users. Connection links the site to the wider digital ecosystem. And finally, commerce ensures transactions, payments, and returns are completed efficiently. It is important to differentiate between mere impressions and structured analysis. A common review focuses on personal taste, like, the site looks modern. A structured analysis asks specific, measurable questions like, can the customer find what they need? This is the shift from opinion to evidence-based management. We will now examine each of the 7 C's one at a time. For each component, we will define it, identify the core managerial question, look at a worked example, and list the key performance indicators that show if it is working. First is context, which covers the design, structure, and navigation of your site. The core question is whether the customer can move through the site with minimal effort. Remember, the structure should mirror the customer's mental model, not your internal organizational chart. The second C is content. This includes all text and media designed to close the information gap. Think of a product page as a digital salesperson. Its job is to help the customer evaluate. It must pass tests for relevance, accuracy, and credibility to support a purchase decision. Here is a worked example. A specification dump lists raw data like RAM or weight. A quote description uses that data to provide benefits and use cases, such as explaining that a lightweight laptop is ideal for commuting students. This turns mere information into decision support. Third is community. This refers to how customers interact with one another through reviews, ratings, and Q&A. Social proof significantly lowers buyer risk. But remember, the value relies entirely on the community remaining authentic. If users sense the feedback is not genuine, the trust is broken. The fourth C is customization, the site's ability to adapt to individual users. From basic language settings to advanced AI-driven recommendations, the goal is relevance. However, always balance this with governance, as there is a fine line where helpful personalization can cross into user discomfort and privacy risks. When customization works, it increases revenue by reducing effort. Increased relevance leads to less searching and better product discovery, which in turn raises the probability of purchase. However, keep a close watch on metrics. If personalization increases sales but also doubles product returns, the overall value may be negative. Finally, the 5th C is communication. This covers interaction between the business and the customer. Two-way communication, such as live chat, is crucial for resolving uncertainty and preventing abandoned purchases. Remember, a tool like a chatbot is only valuable if it provides a real, effective capability to solve the customer's problem. Next is connection. Modern customer journeys rarely happen inside one website. A buyer may travel from social media, through search engines, to your site, and eventually to a third-party review before paying. You must consider your site's place within this wider ecosystem. The 7th and final C is commerce, which covers the entire transaction path from the shopping cart through to the final payment and delivery. Many sites lose customers here because of hidden costs or forced account creation. The central question is, can a customer who wants to buy do so easily and confidently? Before you invest in more advertising to drive traffic, read your funnel. If you have 100,000 sessions, but lose 40% of those who start the checkout process, increasing traffic just pours more water into a leaking bucket. Fix the commerce friction first. That is where your highest returns are. Now let's move from the framework to actual managerial decision-making. Always remember that one strong C cannot compensate for a weak one. A customer will stop at the first break in the chain, so your job is to identify and repair that specific weak link. Consider this business case. A skincare brand with great social media reach, but low website revenue. An audit shows high scores in connection, but low scores in content, community, and commerce. The strategy here isn't to redesign the homepage for looks. It's to fix the barriers closest to the purchase decision. When deciding what to fund next, avoid the temptation of cosmetic homepage redesigns. Prioritize the friction points you have identified. Improving product content, building community evidence, and simplifying commerce are almost always better investments than aesthetic updates. Follow this analytical chain for your recommendations. Observe the user experience, provide specific evidence, classify the issue within the 7 C's, define the customer and business impact, and finally, propose a solution with a clear, measurable KPI. Remember, evidence beats instinct every time. Avoid common mistakes, such as using the 7 C's as a simple checklist, scoring without evidence, or focusing only on aesthetics. Most importantly, never recommend a change without defining the KPI that will prove its success. If you can't measure the impact, it isn't a business recommendation. To summarize our takeaways, the 7 C's go far beyond appearance. They provide a structured way to evaluate how your site helps customers find, understand, trust, and transact. Not every C matters equally for every business. Tailor your focus based on your specific objectives and your customers' needs. The one sentence you should remember is this: the 7 C's do not ask whether a website looks good. They ask whether the website helps the customer move successfully through the business interface and whether that interaction creates genuine, sustainable value. Finally, think deeper about the ethics of design. If a site perfectly optimizes every C, but manipulates the customer into unwanted purchases, is it truly excellent? As you evaluate your chosen websites for our next session, look past the metrics and consider the business strategy and customer experience as a whole.